Imagine finally escaping a broken past, a new apartment, a fresh start, a place where no one knows you. But every night, you hear something. Footsteps, doors creaking, something moving when you're alone. You tell yourself it's just the old building, until your body starts failing you. You wake up exhausted, missing time, feeling watched. Then, one day, you find proof. Someone has been inside your home, watching you the entire time. Every move, every moment. And now, he's getting closer. You're trapped, and he knows everything about you. How would you escape a place that was designed to keep you in? Juliet is an emergency room surgeon. Every day she deals with the most difficult cases, and that is a good thing because she welcomes any chance to lose herself in work. Juliet is going through a difficult period in her personal life right now. The woman is looking for a rental apartment she can actually afford, but that is not so easy. Juliet has already looked at many options, yet all of them were cramped studios with a view of hopelessness. That is not at all what she needs. However, luck soon smiles on Juliet. She responds to yet another listing. The landlord, a man named Max, is asking a suspiciously low price for such a nice apartment with a stunning view from the window. It is a historic building that has belonged to his family for generations. Juliet wonders what the catch is. Max tells her there's no catch, except that it can get rather cold there in winter and noisy at night, since there are tracks running beneath the building. But Juliet, who has been working in intensive care for several years now, is not bothered by noise at all. She is thrilled with the apartment. Max has only one request: no animals. They make a deal. Max helps the woman move in. She does not have that many belongings since she had to get rid of a lot. Juliet does not want anything reminding her of her old life. In this apartment, she hopes to begin a new chapter of her life. Max introduces Juliet to his grandfather, August. They live in the same building. Juliet assures the men that she will not cause any trouble. That works for everyone. The woman is happy with how everything is turning out. From now on, she is in charge of her own life. The only problem is that the nighttime noise from the tracks beneath the building turns out to be stronger than she expected. Every object in the apartment shakes, but the noise quickly dies down and Juliet goes to bed. She has barely drifted off when the creak of door hinges wakes her up. The woman goes to check. It feels to her as though she is not alone there. Then again, the house is old, so the floorboards creak and the soundproofing is poor in general. Or is Juliet's feeling not deceiving her after all? In the morning, the woman goes for a run as usual. Later, she finds a small gift by the door from the friendly neighbors welcoming her there. During her shift at the hospital, Juliet hardly has a single free minute, but she is only glad about that because it allows her to think less about Jack. The love of Juliet's life betrayed her in their own home. Every time she looks in the mirror, the woman thinks that she was not enough. After work, Juliet thanks Max for the gift. The man says it was not him. Then she stops by to see August. He was only trying to be polite because he can imagine what it is like to be a woman among strangers. Juliet is touched, yet at the same time she cannot shake an unexplained sense of unease. To distract herself, she goes to an art exhibition with her colleague Sydney. They run into Max, who by chance happens to be there too. Sydney finds him sweet and very attractive. Juliet asks Max to walk her home. The man tells her that his parents died a very long time ago. He has only his grandfather left. Juliet in turn talks about her own parents. They were hippies and opposed her applying to medical school. The woman also mentions her painful breakup. It seems that Max understands her like no one else. Lost in conversation, they do not notice how quickly time flies. Juliet does not know that Jack is watching them. Max walks her to her door. Juliet cannot hold back and impulsively kisses him, regretting it a second later. She clearly should not have crossed that line. The woman hurries away. That evening, all she wants is to relax and take a bath, but the shaking once again ruins her plans. Juliet cannot get used to it, and in general, she feels anxious in that apartment. The next day, when Jack calls her once again, Juliet finally answers. He says how sorry he is. She immediately hangs up. At that very moment, Max calls and invites her to dinner that evening. The woman agrees. They have dinner in his apartment. Max cooked everything himself. Juliet is surprised that such a wonderful man is still unmarried. Max replies that he probably just has not found the right one yet. All his life, he has taken care of their family building. The man also admits that he has never had a serious relationship because he is not very sociable. The romantic evening goes wonderfully. Juliet hints that she would not mind continuing, and they get ready to give in to passion, but she has no idea that Max had seen her before, long before they met. He had been spying on her and arranged everything so that she would rent his apartment. Naturally, his presence at that exhibition was no coincidence either. Max is not at all who he pretends to be. The man has long been obsessed with Juliet and has been watching her, having remodeled the apartment in advance, outfitted it with secret passageways, and installed a two-way mirror. All this time, Juliet was not mistaken when she sensed another presence. What she had dismissed as paranoia turned out to be a dangerous invasion of her private life. Juliet realizes that she still cannot forget Jack, so she asks Max not to rush things. Clearly disappointed, the man promises to call her later and leaves. Only when he is alone can he give free rein to the rage devouring him from within. Max is determined to have Juliet at any cost. August knows what his grandson is really like, deceitful and envious just like his father. Max's mother was a good woman and did not deserve such a fate. Whenever his grandfather says this, Max hates him, yet he still continues to care for him. August is a very old and gravely ill man. Max keeps spying on Juliet. When he tries to talk to her about that failed night, the woman says that she needs time to recover from her previous relationship. Juliet is serious about this, barely holding his emotions in check. The man replies that he feels the same way and will wait as long as necessary. In truth, when Max told her about his parents' deaths, he did not reveal the whole story. It was a horrific tragedy. Max's father took his wife's life and then his own. At night, Max returns to the apartment where Juliet lives and watches her. By the time she wakes up, he has already managed to hide. The woman walks through the rooms feeling that someone else is there. This place is driving her insane. Suddenly, the old wine cabinet collapses. The next morning, Max offers to fix the wine cabinet while she is at work. Juliet thanks him for being such a good friend and leaves. She has no idea how deeply her words hurt Max. In her absence, he uses her toothbrush. Meanwhile, Jack keeps texting Juliet, begging for her forgiveness. Max's attention becomes more and more intrusive. Juliet does not want to seem rude. Nevertheless, she tries to avoid him. The man asks her directly why she is acting as if absolutely nothing happened between them. Juliet explains that people often do that. They get to know each other better to understand whether something could work between them. Max objects, saying that he never does that. That same evening, he overhears Juliet talking to someone on the phone and arranging to meet that person. Later, while she is getting ready, Max steps out of his hiding place and checks her phone. The last outgoing call was to Jack, so it is clear that she is planning to meet him. The doorbell rings. It is Jack. Juliet has invited him to dinner.
She is thinking about giving Jack another chance, although she is still not sure. Her resentment runs too deep. Jack's dog starts barking, sensing Max behind the wall, watching the couple. The man asks Juliet forgiveness, assuring her that he only made one mistake. Juliet works a lot, and Jack hardly ever saw her. Of course, he knows that does not excuse what he did, but he promises that from now on, everything will be different. Jack felt so awful that one day he even followed her and saw her with Max. The couple give in to passion, unaware that there is a third person in the apartment. Soon Jack leaves, since he has to get up early tomorrow. Max secretly slips something into Juliet's wine. She drinks it, then falls fast asleep. At that moment, Juliet is completely in Max's power. In the morning, the woman feels utterly drained. As a doctor, Juliet understands that her condition is abnormal and could not have been caused by the wine. In the past 3 weeks, she has already overslept for work several times, which is completely unlike her. Juliet is sure that it is somehow connected to the apartment, although Sydney considers it unjustified paranoia. The woman installs surveillance cameras in the apartment to reassure herself that her fears are imagined. She does not yet know that she will soon be proven wrong. Meanwhile, Max resolves to do something terrible. He gets rid of his grandfather so that no one will ever be able to call him pathetic and disgusting again. After that, he follows Jack as he returns home after his date with Juliet. Max attacks Jack and seriously injures him. Juliet activates the cameras and falls into a deep sleep. Max made sure of that in advance, but he does not know about the cameras. While Juliet is asleep, Max is about to act out all of his desires, but suddenly the woman wakes up. In a panic, Max injects her with some kind of drug and breaks down in helpless tears, disgusted with himself. Juliet wakes up again long after her alarm was supposed to go off. As she hurriedly gets ready, she notices a syringe cap on the floor. At the hospital, the first thing she does is get tested to find out what is happening to her, and most importantly, why. Meanwhile, Jack, who has a duplicate set of keys, brings bags of groceries to Juliet's apartment. At the exact moment, Max is lying on her bed. Hearing strange sounds, Jack checks the rooms. Max sneaks up on him from behind. After reviewing her toxicology report, Juliet discovers high levels of powerful substances in her system. She leaves Jack a voicemail telling him not to come to her apartment under any circumstances, then rushes there herself. They had planned to cook dinner together, so Juliet knows he was supposed to bring groceries. There is no one in the apartment, or at least that's how it seems. Juliet checks the surveillance footage and sees Max entering her room and doing whatever he wants there. She simply cannot process it. Max walks in uninvited with a bottle of wine. Juliet tries with all her strength not to show that she knows the truth. The woman knows there is already something mixed into the wine. He proposes a toast to their friendship. Juliet does not touch the wine, no matter how much Max urges her to try it. Juliet tries to call Jack, but the man snatches the phone from her hand. She asks him to just tell her what he did to Jack. In response, Max only accuses Juliet of betraying him. Seizing the moment, she tries to run, but he grabs her and a fight breaks out between them. In the end, Max locks the woman inside the apartment. In despair, Juliet cries out for help, but no one will hear her. While she tries to figure out how to get out, Max comes in again and attacks her. Juliet lets him think that she is completely in his power. When he lets his guard down, she shoves him away and runs to the bathroom where she locks herself. He starts pounding on the door, but at some point, everything goes quiet. Juliet peers through the gap between the door and the floor when Max suddenly starts hammering on the door again. When everything goes quiet the next time, the mirror suddenly shatters into pieces a few seconds later. Max bursts out from there and grabs her. The woman manages to fight him off. To her horror, she realizes that her entire apartment is fitted with secret passageways. Juliet is trapped, but she has no intention of giving up, and arming herself with a nail gun, prepares to face her stalker head-on. Meanwhile, he is hiding somewhere in the maze. Suddenly, Max knocks her to the floor. The man says he never wanted it to come to this, but he could not control himself. Juliet suddenly grabs the nail gun and uses it, badly injuring Max. But that does not stop him. While trying to escape through the secret passageways, Juliet stumbles upon Jack's body. When Max catches up with her, she uses the nail gun again, and this time she finishes it. That is how this story ends.